What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Prep, Cook, Plate, Repeat. This week's episode, we're going to do something fun. We're going to make some pasta. We're making Casarece Arrabiata. What translates to in English, Casarece is a style of pasta that's known for in Sicily and known for making it. Obviously, being part Sicilian, I love highlighting anything from Sicily. So Casarece pasta and Arrabiata means a spicy tomato sauce. So let's get to it. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to prep out our mise en place, right? Mise en place is a fancy French word for ingredients. Let's get a knife. We're going to core out 2 tomatoes. Now, normally when people make arrabbiata at a restaurant or anywhere, they use canned tomatoes, which is totally fine. But I like to break up that canned feeling with fresh tomatoes. So I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 plum tomatoes, and I'm just going to dice them. Doesn't have to be perfect because this is eventually going to go in a food processor and get all chopped up. So by adding these fresh tomatoes, you're just going to get that really nice fresh feel. Like I said, it's very kind of summerish. Okay, so that's ready to go. Next is just our garlic. I already have it peeled. I just like to smash them. That's all I do, just to release a little bit of the oil. Right? You're just releasing it. You're getting it going. And let's keep that to the side. Okay. I also have here about half of a cup of cherry peppers. These are just regular cherry peppers in a can. You can do sweet if you want. I got these hot cherry peppers because arrabbiata is a hot style tomato sauce, so I got hot. About half a cup there. Just from fresh basil. I love fresh basil. Nice and green. That beautiful color lets me know that it's herbaceous. Its flavor has a lot of flavor, so it's going to be great. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring over our little induction burner that we have here. Okay. And I'm going to put my pan on. I'm going to put about 6 tablespoons of of olive oil, 6 tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin. Okay. And what I'm looking to do is I want to heat up this garlic because I want to take away that rawness. Garlic is very sharp when it's eaten raw. It's very potent, very spicy. So I want to kind of mellow it out, tone it down, because I don't want it to be overpowering with garlic, but I want it to be there in the background. Okay? So let's put on our thing here. Okay? I'm going to go about medium-high heat. I'm going to let this heat up a little bit, but I'm going to put my garlic in. Okay? So what I want to happen is I want to lightly fry this garlic. Right? Just a little bit of color. We're not looking for a hard color because then it becomes a little bitter. We don't want that. We just want a light color. We want to mellow out this garlic. And that's going to probably take about 2 or 3 minutes or so. So I'll be right back. All right, guys. So our garlic is being fried just a little bit. As you can see that, I got a little bit of color on that garlic. That's what you want. I'm going to go ahead and pull this just out carefully. I'm going to go right into a food processor that I have here. Okay. So I got about 7 pieces of garlic here, lightly fried. Now I'm going to turn off my heat, okay, and let that hang out and do its thing. Carefully, I'm going to add some of these cherry peppers. I just want to flavor this oil because this oil is going to go into the food processor, and that's going to act as our binder or oil flavoring for our tomato sauce. So carefully just add these. I pre-drained these because these are held in liquid in a brine. So just make sure you drain them and the oil doesn't go everywhere, okay? Also, the reason that I turned this off is because, 1, I don't want these to burn. I'm just flavoring this oil. And then 2, if you have this thing ripping hot and you put these babies in, you're not going to be able to breathe over this. All this vinegar and the spiciness it's super hard to breathe. Okay, so just let that do its thing. Okay, so got that. All right, now to the food processor here. I'm actually going to move this real quick. In your food processor, I want you to go ahead and add those 2 tomatoes. And then I want you to add 1 can of peeled tomatoes. Right in. This is a, let's see here, 14-ounce can. Okay. To this sauce, because this is going to be the base of our sauce, we're going to put some basil in there. You don't have to chop it. You can just do it by hand, tear it. So we're kind of flavoring our sauce now. It's really important. You can't flavor it after. You have to flavor it now. A couple basil leaves. I'm going to do some salt and pepper. Nice 2 big pinches. And then some pepper right in. Nice pinch of black pepper. Beautiful. Okay. Now that's ready. Carefully take your oil with your cherry peppers and right in. Beautiful. It smells so good. So fragrant. Okay. Go ahead. Let's close this baby up. And then we're going to blitz her. We're going to go on high. Take a quick look. Just a touch more. Okay. That's what you want to see. You see how it's a little chunky? That's what you want. Because this is going to get a little thicker because we're going to cook out the water from here. So that's what you want. All right. So I'm going to clean this up real quick and be right back. Our sauce is ready to go into our pan here that we have. I'm just looking. I want to cook this sauce for about 10 minutes. I'm not going to go any longer. It's kind of a fresh sauce. It's not like a marinara or tomato sauce that needs to cook for a couple of hours. This is just a really quick tomato sauce. So I'm going to bring this to a nice heat. And we're going to just evaporate that water in the tomatoes a little bit, right? So I'm going to cook this for about 10 minutes. As this is cooking, we're cooking our pasta. The Casarece pasta is on the stove. We have about 4 cups of water. We did about half a pound of pasta. That's going to probably yield us like 2 nice portions. So just get that going on your stove. Also, don't forget to season your water always. Always salt your water. Do not salt your water like the ocean. I hate when people say that. You don't want to do that because if the pasta is overly salty and then that's all you're going to taste is pasta. You're not going to be able to taste this beautiful sauce that we're making. This is going to taste too salty. The pasta is going to taste too salty. Just a nice handful of salt and you're good. That's all you need. That's all that should go in that water. No olive oil in your water. I know people do a lot of things. They put olive oil in their water. Do not put olive oil in your water. What ends up happening is that when you go to toss your pasta in the sauce, it can't grab a hold of any of the beautiful sauce that you're making because it's covered in oil. It just slides right off, right? That's a big misconception that people do with their pasta is that they like to over salt it, put oil, and then the last one is that they rinse their pasta. Never, ever rinse your pasta. You want that starchiness. You want that flavor to stay there, right? Those are the 3 main things you got to know when you're cooking dry pasta. So we're going to let this cook, like I said, for about 10 minutes on a medium heat. You can cover it if you like because it is going to splat a little bit. It's going to go a little crazy, but you can cover it. Yeah, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes. So it's been about 10, 12 minutes or so. As you can see, she's pretty dry. See that sauce? That's what we wanted. We wanted to cook that liquid out. We want to evaporate all that water from the tomato right out. So we kind of left with like a thick sauce. Okay. So now I got my pasta here ready. Cooked it to about al dente. Right in. Anytime you make pasta, I always like to reserve the water. It has a lot of flavor. I did probably a half of a cup here. Just going to put some over, just a little bit. Like that. So now we're kind of keeping that starch all together again, right? Keeping all the flavor of the pasta together. Now I always like to, I call it jumping or tossing. I always like to toss or jump or cook the pasta in whatever sauce is going to go into, just so it can grab a hold of that sauce. It can flavor the sauce, and vice versa. The sauce flavors the pasta. As you can see, I have a little bit of water here in the bottom. That's okay. I'm going to go ahead, bring that to a little boil. I'm going to cook this pasta for like 2 minutes in the sauce. And that's it. Just 2 minutes. We'll cook it. So it can really come together. It can mesh. It can bind. You need to. You don't want to serve pasta like they do in takeout restaurants, to-go restaurants, like an Italian restaurant. There's a bowl, little spaghetti and a sauce on top. Don't want to do that. That's not really flavoring. You want to jump it, you want to toss it, you want to cook it together. It's supposed to be. So yeah, we're going to cook this for about another minute. It's done at this point. We're just going to cut up some basil, we're going to garnish it, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so pasta is done. Everything is ready. The best, my most favorite part is coming up now. It's plating. We can eat now. Before we start to plate, we got to get our garnish going. So I'm just going to take a couple of basil leaves. I'll probably take 3. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can, obviously, the old rustic way is just to kind of tear it rustic style, or you can do something called chiffonade, what the French call it. You take these 3 little leaves, you roll them up, right? Just like this, and now you have this. Kind of looks like, you know what it looks like. So, I'm going to go ahead and take my knife, and I'm just going to start to cut thin strips, and these are just ribbons. That's what they're called. These are just thin ribbons. But the French call it chiffonade. There you go, super easy. I'm going to go ahead and put it in my pasta. I'm going to give my pasta a good stir now. Look at that. See how that water cooked out now, and now just the sauce is grabbing onto that pasta? You have to cook the pasta in whatever sauce you serve it. It's a sin if you don't. The good Lord will get you. All right. Look at that. Oh, it smells amazing, man. Amazing. Just a little bit more. That's a beautiful bowl. I'd be very happy this came out to me in a restaurant. I'll tell you that. Not just because I made it, but because it looks good and tastes good. And that's it. I mean, thank you for watching. We made Casarece. Or Casarece. How do you say it again? Casarece. Something like that. It's okay. If you can't say it, it's all right. But thank you for tuning in this week. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We are also offering online virtual cooking classes at prepcookplaterepeat.com. We have custom classes to suit whatever cuisine or protein, dietary restrictions, allergies you may have. And we also have upcoming classes that you can check out too. Go and check it out. Thank you again. We'll see you next time.